Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. I hope you guys are well today. I'm going to tap into the energy today. I hope you guys are enjoying your week. We're at Hump Day. Today is Wednesday, and um, it's been a really good week so far. I hope it's been, you know, peaceful for you, just like it has been for me, and almost like feels like we're in just this new space and just kind of creating as we go along. We're open to see what it's going to be, right? So let's take a look, Spirit. What is it that we need to know today? What is the focus? Queen of Wands coming out. Okay. Very motivated energy that is available that we're in today. This energy feels like it could actually be kind of like getting the hang of something, getting kind of like being positioned in a balanced position on it. It almost feels like being in a difficult situation, but the situation not feeling difficult anymore. There's a sense of control or balance that you've gained in it with the Queen of Wands. We also have the Tower coming out here. So for someone, this could be the Tower isn't always negative. It could be positive. It's the energy of surprise, the element of things not really being expected, happening, unwinding in an unexpected way, and then the Eight of Cups too. So it feels like very empowered energy, even if it's in the midst of the unexpected. Very empowered energy, and it almost feels like there is a taking an opportunity to achieve or to move up to higher heights too with the Eight of Cups. There's like this desire to experience more or to achieve more. And this could be something that maybe you didn't expect. Maybe this is something that kind of feels like, you know, all other doors have been shut. And this is like the only door that's open is to go towards a way that causes you to level up, right? Or it could come through as an opportunity, a surprising opportunity that allows you to do this. This could also be someone in the energy of change or movement in some type of way. It feels very inspirational, very empowered with the Queen of Wands, though, whatever's happening. Even if it is chaotic, you seem to be on top of it, okay? And maybe using it as an opportunity to upskill. Now, I do feel a little bit for someone, whoever you are, we have the Sun, the the Ten of Swords, and the Five of Swords. And so, oh, and the Emperor. So there's something to take note of here about how you're feeling, what's actually happening on the inside. And this may be something that you may not even be demonstrating on the outside. However, there's a lot happening underneath the surface, I feel like. And hmm, it feels a bit uncomfortable. It could feel a bit chaotic on the inside. Um, but there's really the element of, with the Sun being here, it's very interesting energy. Um, it almost feels like a very good moment in time that you're experiencing inwardly, but it comes with a lot of conflict, though. This could be you putting your foot down and taking control of the reins. It feels good, but it's causing a lot of kickback around you doing this and taking control of your happiness. Yeah. In the event, for instance, we're going to take the people pleaser, right? Who's used to catering and, you know, customizing their life around other people's happiness. In the event where they decide, you know what, this is no longer going to be my story. I'm taking my power back. I am not about to sit here and mold and, you know, cultivate a life around other people. I'm about to start cultivating my life around myself. The people that are used to you being this people pleaser and, you know, just really catering to their needs may not like this. Though you may be walking into the best time of your life, the most happiest time where you feel empowered, and in control and just doing what feels right for you may in fact be causing a lot of conflict and chaos around you, though you may be having the time of your life. Because of you taking your power back, it is causing others to be shaken and uprooted, right? They're having to make other plans that didn't involve you, right? It feels like that kind of energy. All of this is something that is being experienced inside of you. Maybe, you're seeing this, you're experiencing the kickback from you taking your power back and making decisions that really are about you and your happiness. The energy that we are taking a look at as we are moving forward is the Ace of Swords. hmm the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, more of that thinking of self, holding back. The more you get the um, inspiration or this enlightenment, this realization that this is where you have supposed to be the whole time, right? This is empowering you even more to do what's best for you. Okay. The crazy thing about that is that when you look at those dynamics where you have the people pleaser, and this could be you, doesn't have to be, this could be someone that is concerning your situation. The more you look at that dynamic, the people pleaser is usually the only one that's thinking about others. Everybody else in that dynamic connected to the people pleaser are also thinking about themselves. And it's so funny, right? Because when the people pleaser wakes up and they're like, well, let me start thinking about myself too, everybody is appalled. They're like, what? The nerve, the audacity of you to think of yourself. Even though I'm thinking of myself, you're supposed to think of me too, because that's just who we expect you to be. It's that kind of energy. But the more you get the understanding that this is like, yeah, this is where I feel like I'm supposed to be here the whole time. And I wasted all of this time. So let me just kick it in. Let me drive the nail in even deeper, right? And the more you come to this realization, the more you start to pull back and really just think about more of yourself. Think about what it is that you need to do to secure a better future for yourself. And for some of you, this is a time where you'll be no longer, offering up assistance. It could be like people coming to you wanting to always borrow money or using you as a crutch in some kind of way. That's no longer going to be. I see you stepping in a whole different energy. And I see you going in, seeking answers for yourself. Maybe you're someone who was used to going to others to get some form of direction. I see you going within to get that. Just really kicking up that self-reliance energy. Yeah. Let's take a look. And so also I'm seeing the fact that you're in this energy, like there's something about you that's having a glow up right now with this Queen of Swords. You're having a glow up. The more you go within, the more you pull your power back and really take ownership of your experience, the more you seem to step into this very resilient, very powerful energy. And it's at the very moment that you decided to take the opportunity to walk away from all of this old stuff that never served you. It no longer serves you, but really in reality, it never did. And the more you move away from that, the more you step into this very high powered energy. And it's almost like new doors open before you. It was just waiting on you to realize it. Okay. So for someone, this is a very empowering moment that we are in today. You may be feeling really good. And don't you feel guilty about it for 1 second, because the sun is now shining in your court. This is about you standing in your power and really allowing yourself to be in a very assertive energy. Um, there's a saying when we look at the law that's coming up, Spirit is bringing this up for me. If you don't know your rights, it's like you don't have any. And it's not upon those that enforce the law to ensure, even though they're supposed to ensure that you know your rights. Many times it's up to you to know so that you can demand, right, what you know is right, what you know you are worthy of, and that is owed to you. This is all about you understanding and enforcing the value that you know you carry and demanding that, not settling for anything less. And for some this may be called your, what do they call it? Um, your era of really stepping into your villain era. That's what they call it, your villain era. Many may perceive you in that way, but really it's just you taking your power back. And it's so funny, at the moment where the people pleaser takes their power back, they become the villain because they no longer, lay down to allow others to, walk over them, right? They become the villain all of a sudden just because they step into the energy that everyone else that they've been serving has been in the whole time. The spirit is saying, yeah, so be it then. So be it, right? Because this is about you just really allowing yourself to step into the sense of empowerment when it comes to your life. And that doesn't mean you have to be rude, right? Being assertive is not rude. It's not rude, but it's letting people know. It's you recognizing your value and not being afraid to demand that, right? This is the new rule. And if you don't want to abide by it, then keep it stepping, basically, right? And it's not being rude. People have a choice, right? Either they want to align with that or they don't. And if they don't, they can go on somewhere else. And so someone is stepping into a very assertive energy and just really acknowledging the value that they know they are worthy of and not accepting anything less. This is also about, when we have the Queen of Swords and the Hierophant, this is also about you being aware, right? It's like, I see. And then also being able to communicate what it is possibly that you're seeing, what you're feeling, what's happening, being able to effectively communicate that as well, whether that's with your actions or whether that's with your words. That's coming through here as well. And so you may find yourself speaking up about some things that you see happening, about how you're feeling about things that are happening right now. Yeah, spirit is supporting that. Okay. Let's see. We do have the South Node here coming out. We have the fourth house, the 11th house, and the fifth house as well. And so there's something that's being brought back around that you need to be aware of and you need to consider with the South Node. There's something you need to remember. This may be about you being outside of your authentic energy, like how that felt. It may have been a feeling of feeling like you're deceiving yourself, right? You ever have that feeling? You're like, why? I don't know. Why does it feel like I am in like this false reality when I'm here, when I'm in this position? But then when I step back over here and I put myself in a position where I'm pivoted towards myself, it feels more authentic, right? It feels more real and more aligned. There's something about remembering and, considering something. This also could be about divine timing. There may not actually be um, an alignment with something right now. Right now may not actually be a good time to consider something. And so use your discernment. If that's something that has been, kind of brewing in your heart, you'll know this is for you. Okay. Maybe there's not just the right timing for something. Maybe there's something that needs to be reconsidered right now because of the timing. Right now, it could be something that would bring about trouble, right? Instead of something that would be aligned with where you are or what you're supposed to be doing right now. Yeah, it wouldn't work out. There's something about the South Node that gives me the indication that things are not really divinely aligned. There's certain things that you're dealing with, you may be considering that's not aligned. Spirit is saying now is not the time. Okay, with South Node coming out, we do have the fourth house coming out, which is all about our foundations, the things that make us feel secure and grounded, our support. So someone may need to kind of take a look at the things or what would make us feel supported and grounded and balanced right now, and possibly even gather those things, whatever that is that will make us feel supported or grounded right now. We may need that extra support, not in light of that which we have moved away from, not in light of that which has been dysfunctional, if I could say that, when I was talking about being in that energy of people pleasing and possibly being a crutch. Not that, right? Because that would just be re-strengthening those unhealthy bonds. But this is in light of those things that are actually supportive. And for some of us, it could even be things that are spiritual resources that we have access to. But whatever that is, this is a time to come home to self and do what makes us truly feel secure. There's something I feel like that created a level of groundedness and balance that we know very well that has proven to work. This may be returning to that, what will bring us back to stability. Spiritually speaking, I'm hearing fasting, I'm hearing praying, meditating, like going back to those very foundational practices that brought in what it was that we needed at one point in time. I'm just using that as an example. For you, that could be something else. Think of the very traumatic times in life where you had to resort to something specific to bring balance back in. So this might be a time to do that. Okay. Go back to foundational practices. We also have the 11th house. This is being connected when it comes to moving forward in the future to what it is that we have been called to do as we serve. For someone, this is you extending yourself, not in the way that you did in the past that placed you in this very unbalanced, unhealthy situations, but this is you actually stepping forward in your true calling, connecting to what you've been called to do when it pertains to you serving humanity, right? The 11th house is all about being liberated so that you can move forward in your calling, in your purpose. This could have a lot to do with who you are associated with. It feels like there may be a change or a different way that you're looking at that right now. Something about the 11th house. And then the 5th house comes in regards to creating something. It almost feels like walking into something, as I was saying at the beginning, but kind of creating as you go along. The energy of having a level of authority to create what it is that you desire. For some of you, this could have something to do with a child as well. Something to do with the child. This is the energy of allowing yourself to be liberated, to experience fun again, maybe even romance. This is also you delving into your gifts, creating in that way. The 5th house is all about the power of passion, being able to engage with the things that you love. Like for some, it could be children or a child. It could be like romantic, intimate relationships, or you delving, pouring yourself out into something that you enjoy doing, like a creative endeavor in some type of way. Yeah, allowing yourself to engage in that way. Okay. Um, let's see here. What else do we need to know about the energy of today? We have the Hawk Prince. And so Spirit is absolutely communicating today. Um, so pay attention with the Hawk Prince, right? Spirit is talking today. And Spirit may, in fact, be talking through animals. I have had just this overwhelming experiences lately with the birds. There's this crow, or it's either a crow or a raven, and it comes and it sits, perches in a tree by my window, and it just barks, not barks, but it sounds like that. It's not just it's more like a overbearing sound, like you will hear me, right? You will not be able to ignore me. And he'll just sit at my window and just bark. And I'm listening, I'm just sitting and this one particular day, I'm remembering I was in my room, it was the middle of the day, and I was just sitting in my room, just having just some quiet time. And I'm hearing it, but I'm also doing what I'm doing. But I'm hearing it as well and acknowledging it in the back of my mind. And I'm kind of like having this conversation, with the bird. And then my daughter comes in the room. She's like, Mom, do you hear the bird? And I'm like, okay, so it's not just me. It's not just me. She's like, he's like sitting at your window and he's like, this loud callings. I'm like, yes, I do hear it. Thank you for letting me know that you hear that too. It's not just me. And so there's been this very interesting communication that's been happening through the animals. And so you could be experiencing things like that too. There's a one point in time where there was this very special connection that I felt coming through the squirrels. Um, Very interesting connection coming through beetles, these golden green, very forest green and golden beetles. Every time I would go to the park, this is like a couple of years ago when I would spend quite a bit of time at the park, they would always come and land on my blanket and mate, a couple of them. I think they're called June bugs. They're very big beetles, harmless, but they're big. And because they're so big, I haven't really got a chance to really get used to them. So they would always send me running off of my blanket. But I kid you not, every time I went to the park and sat on my blanket, here comes the June bugs. And they would come, and it would always be a pair of two. And they would come and they would sit on my blanket and they would mate right there on my blanket. And I'm like, I would look at them. As long as they didn't get too close to me, I was good. But once they tried to get close, it would send me running off of my blanket until they got done doing what they were doing. But spirit uses interesting ways to communicate, and so pay attention, because spirit is always communicating, and sometimes it comes through nature to send messages and synchronicities and let you know, that spirit sees you and is directing you and giving you instruction. So pay attention. There's some communication coming through today. The lady of the gift, all about generosity, receiving, and withholding, right? Which is what we're talking about here today, right? Spirit is saying, yeah, you are gifted. You are a gift to many. But just because you've been given a gift to offer humanity, that doesn't mean that you allow people to come and extract every bit of it from you to where you're just left on E. You're left bankrupt. That's not what this is, right? This is all about generosity. We've all come to give. We've all been created to plug in, but also to reciprocate. And what that means is there's a bit of discernment that needs to be used in what you've come to give. We don't just give freely, but we give in a way where we're connected and we're led to where to give, to who to give to when to give, to how to give, and also how to receive as well. And when one of those are missing, then we're out of balance, which means that now we have to bring in the energy of withholding. And so there's a bit of wisdom in utilizing what we've come to do, what we've come to give. This is all about you as the gift for whoever this is for, as the gift. This is a time where you may find yourself withholding, right, from places that were unbalanced. Okay, as you move into your north node, your authenticity, your purpose, where you're supposed to be, so that you can operate in the way that you're supposed to operate. Okay, in a way that won't leave you bankrupt. Okay. And then for the last card, I have Box here. And Box is bringing up the energy of revealing your secret power. Secret power. Interesting. First of all, Box, just, I don't like that word. That is definitely a word that I have been very aware of, because I've been very adamant about getting out of mine. When I think of Box, I think of something that someone has created for me to stay within certain limitations, so you don't get too big for your britches, or so you don't go past what society expectations are. And many times, so you never reach your true purpose. Many times it's bigger than anything that we could ever imagine. And it also takes much more than we would ever expect to reach it. And so when I think of the word box, it causes something to rise up in me, a little bit of my rebellious spirit, right? But it doesn't always mean that. But in this case, it's asking for a revelation of a secret power, something about examining our belief systems. And we do have the Hierophant here, which taps into that energy. This is also about when we talk about our values, realizing what that is and standing on that, not compromising that. But also, the Hierophant also talks about needing to take a look at that, because sometimes our values sometimes can run, very close to, depending on what the values are, sometimes they can be a bit dogmatic. Sometimes there may be a need to see things differently, but sometimes there's a need to stick to them like guns, right? But this is something about examining what it is that we deeply cherish when it comes to our belief systems about ourselves and about the world that we exist in. Um, and being open to examine that, right? Even when it comes to the deep, dark seated things that we many times don't want anyone else to know. We don't even like to look at it ourselves. It's being able to open up and see those things because we are only as sick as our secrets. That's the saying, right? When we're talking about um, getting over addictions, things that we hide in the dark, we're only as sick as our secrets. So there's something about opening up. And if nobody else, you taking a look and examining, right? What it is that you believe about yourself and about the world around you, and asking, have you shut things into a box and not allowed it to be opened? Have you protected it? And do you have sources that you can go to, people that you can trust, people that can give you wise counsel, right? Do you have that, those resources? Because there's something here about unpacking things that we've locked away so that we can be freed and liberated to live a more authentic, transparent, and out of the box, powerful life. Okay. Spirit is bringing to my mind another oracle deck. This is my dream oracle deck, but I have my African Goddess Rising oracle deck. In that deck, there is a card that points to the shadows. And this card is called, it points to an archetype called, I'm trying to remember the name. I can't remember the name of the archetype that they use to demonstrate this energy, but this archetype represents the dark shadows. And it talks about the fact that this is many times an untapped area because so many people are so afraid to open up that box. They're so afraid to dig into their shadows, the shadow aspects of who we are. But the unfortunate part about that is because they're so afraid to go there, they miss out on a whole another amazing untapped resource that lies within those shadows. Within our shadows are some of the most greatest gifts that we possess. But it's only in being willing to open up and deal with the shadows that we're able to tap into that. I'm getting that kind of energy here. Reveal your secret power. I don't know if you've been, just really dealing with deep hidden aspects of yourself. Maybe that's something that spirit has been dealing with you. Maybe you've been really lamenting over healing or, doing something different, stepping out of the current energy that you're in to experience something new. This feels like something being revealed, something being unhoused, unboxed, and you being willing to be vulnerable and to really open up in that way. Spirit just wants you to know that it's safe. It's safe to open up and be genuine, be radical, be authentic in who you've been created to be. That's what this card is saying with Box. Okay. That's my last message coming out with the Oracle. That's the message of the day, the encouragement. Allow yourself to be open. There is a change that you are ushering in. Somebody's ready for something different, and that thing is ready for you. Okay. And so let me know if it resonates. Take what, aligns with you, leave what doesn't. Blood Moon Oracle here with the message of the day. As always, it's always a pleasure to bring the message. Even if one or two come by and watch it, maybe that's who the message was for. And so thank you. Blood Moon Oracle, like, share, comment, subscribe, and let me know. I'll see you next time. Bye.